This game developer released a game using a bunch of AI assets, and this one thing made him completely change his mind. And you won't believe what this one thing is. Or I guess if you saw the title of this video, you already know. But this is about an article that was posted to PC Gamer, written by Lincoln Carpenter, published January 12th, titled, "Indie Dev is delisting his AI game from Steam because his new girlfriend convinced him it's evil. Quote, the game existing in its current form is a disgrace to all game makers and players," end quote. And again, disclaimer before getting into this, please don't send hate to any parties involved, don't bully the developer or anybody else involved. And not a disclaimer, but also second, yeah, I cut bangs. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I literally told myself, Kat, stop touching your hair. I'm for sure banned from bleaching my hair, but I was like, stop touching your hair. And then I saw a girl like do a 5-minute tutorial on how to perfectly style your bangs. And I said, oh my God, me too. And then I cut bangs. That was very long-winded. But this article references a Steam post put out by the developer. The game is titled Hardest, and it's like a rock, paper, scissors type game. And this is what the trailer on Steam looks like. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors card game version, and there's other cool tools you could use besides just like rock and paper. But as you can see, a lot of the placeholder assets are AI generated. The images on the cards itself, it does look like the logo even is like AI generated. Anyways, a lot of AI assets went into this. You know, we can kind of see this here. And personally, I am not a fan of Gen AI at all. If you watch any of my videos, you know that. The dev writes, this game will be deleted January 30th. I made this game during the summer in a couple of months and thought to use AI because in university, there is so much brainwashing on students and all the tools are given for free. So I could generate unlimited images for free and so. But I have realized that AI is not actually free and it has a major effect on the economy and environment. Some AI companies can use this game just existing as a reason to get more investment for their AI companies, which benefits no one and sucks resources from the economies from hard-working people. I coded everything myself, so I can in the future make a new game with real assets if I feel like it. But the game existing in its current form is a disgrace to all game makers and players. Ethically, the only logical reason is to delete the game from Steam. The girl I've been dating for a month made me realize this. So yeah, that's the thing. Don't send hate, don't bully anybody, right? I can see how like the developer ended up in a situation like this, you know? Maybe they're in a situation where they are a coder, they don't know how to do art. The next step is commission somebody or like find free licensed assets that you could use for your game. But, you know, in school, I'm really glad, honestly, that I graduated before the AI boom. Like I graduated in 2021, like right when that boom started. But I could definitely see, you know, if everybody in your classes are like, oh, just use this AI tool, use this AI tool. Like it's not that bad, just use it, you know, and you don't do art yourself and you're like, oh, I guess, sure, you know, and you kind of like used it and then now you realize, you know, hey, there are actually like negative environmental effects and it steals from people, not great, you know. And like at the core of it, they did code the game themselves, right? I just think it's so interesting that like their girlfriend of 1 month convinced them that AI was bad. And honestly, I respect that, you know, like you should always try to push your partner to be better. Even the duration being short, you know, for 1 month, like had a good impact on this developer, right? And now this developer realized, hey, you know, the AI assets that I use isn't great. Let me pull my game down and then maybe in the future replace it with legitimate assets. So absolutely respectable. I love this, you know? And again, don't send hate to the developer. Don't send hate to them, right? Like, I could definitely see a situation where, you know, if you don't know the harmful effects of Gen AI and everybody's peddling it to you, you saw it, you were like, oh, it seems not that harmful. But now that you know that it's bad, they stop using it. And I think that is the most important thing, right? I think it's interesting though, because in the comment section of the article, people are a bit suspicious. There's people who are like, kind of seems like instead of this actually being a true story, this person made up this story to try to get publicity for their game to get some downloads, which I think is interesting. That's definitely a very like negative way to look at it. I don't know. There's always the line of like, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Right. So take it with a grain of salt because we just have one person's statement. If it is a true statement, great. If it's a PR stunt, they said they weren't going to use the AI anymore. So, you know, hey, the end result is the end result. Also, in the same breath of no AI or like not using AI, we've got Comic-Con. We have this post from an artist, Carla Ortiz, writing at Hey Comic-Con, deciding to allow Gen AI imagery in the art show, giving valuable space to Gen AI users to show slop right next to artists who worked their butts off to be there is a disgrace. A tone-deaf decision that rewards and normalizes Gen AI harms upon artists. And it reads, 3, materials produced by AI may be placed in the show, but only as not for sale. It must clearly be marked as AI produced, not simply listed as print. If one of the parameters in its creation was something similar to, quote, do this in the style of X artist, end quote, that info must be added to the description. If there are questions, the art show coordinator will be the sole judge of acceptability. This definitely is an interesting choice by Comic-Con because, you know, it is a convention that celebrates media, artists, creators, and it does feel like a big slap in the face if you're like, yeah, you know, so like, you know, all the artists and stuff that we've been celebrating for however long time. Well, screw you guys, because we're gonna allow Gen AI to be placed all over the place. As long as it's labeled, it's fine, right? It feels disrespectful. And to that, I do agree. And Carla continues, Comic-Con should be a celebration and elevation of real artists, writers, craftsmen, and women who make the works that fans love. Instead, you celebrate the slop that can only exist due to stolen work of those creatives and then displace them. Gen AI has no place at Comic-Con and art shows. And then a day later, Thankfully, an update was posted. We have Culture Crave writing, San Diego Comic-Con will no longer allow AI art, in quotes, to be displayed at their event. Quote, material created by AI, either partially or wholly, is not allowed in the art show, end quote. This follows backlash from artists after San Diego Comic-Con initially indicated AI-generated works would be permitted. And this is the new update, exhibiting your artwork in point number 3. Now it says materials created by AI, either partially or wholly, is not allowed. So I'm glad for that. I'm very glad this change was made. And this is a good sign because it shows, hey, with public pressure, with public sentiment being AI should not be allowed in this space, weird, we don't like Gen AI being here, that thankfully changes are made. It does feel a bit bad that this wasn't kind of like an out the gate decision that was made. It was only a decision that was made after the public pushed back on it. I would hope in those rooms where decisions are made, the execs are kind of like, hey, you know, like let's support artists, let's not use this. But it kind of seemed like they tried adding it in there and then the public was like, oh, wait a second here. Like, what is this? And then they were like, oh, my bad. But they were trying to like see how far they could get away with it, you know? So I'm curious about how you feel about that. But I'm glad at least at the very end that final change was made to be like, no AI. I think that's the thing with both situations, right? Like the final outcome, the decision was made that Gen AI has no place in these spaces and that it was removed. So yay. Again, don't send hate to any parties involved, right? Bullying is never okay. But when it comes to companies who do things like that and is trying to slowly push Gen AI down our throats, that, you know, publicly speaking up and being like, yo, let's not like this. Let's not do this. Da, 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 da. Also on a complete side note, this is like a little tiny snippet. But some people are like, oh, Kat, why do you talk so much about Gen AI? Like, why are you always duking on Gen AI all the time? I don't like it. It steals from artists. I think in the art creative space, there's no place for Gen AI in the state that it's in. If there was a world where we could do it ethically, it could be a very interesting thing to explore. Don't think that's ever going to be possible. We'll see though, but it's built off the theft of artists. Need I say more? So anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. I hope you guys like the bangs. I said I wasn't going to do it and I did it again. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I gotta keep my hands away from the hair cutting scissors. But yeah, I have an Etsy shop if you want to check me out there. I have digital art there for streamers and creators. I have a coffee with free resources like a free sponsorship guide. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you all there or in another video. Peace.